So welcome ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's video. It probably will be quite a long one because we are going to be installing the Virtuared version 4 patch, and then I'm going to show you it at the end of the video. So I'm going to leave a lot of timestamps so you guys can just go to whatever part of the video you want to go to. But I thought it might be more interesting to actually watch me install it myself, because I do have version 3. What do I normally do going from one patch to another or updating a patch? And if you want to follow Spoonies, then go ahead. He'll have a tutorial for this as well. So feel free to do whatever you wish. Anyway, let's dive into this. Let's quickly show you what is in this patch, and then we'll start installing the bad boy. Right, so let's crack on. First of all, before we get into all this right here, this is the content. So you're pretty much going to be getting, a change, the starting year in Master League, become a legend to 2021. Didn't know you could do that, but you can. They've moved all of the promoted and relegated teams to all competitions with second division. You've got updated transfers, of course, for a whole bunch of leagues. They have also created promoted teams for the likes of the Bundesliga, Eredivisie and stuff, which is kind of cool. They've created teams such as Sheriff Tiraspol, obviously in the Champions League. Well, not anymore. They've been knocked out. But they're still there. They've created more than 250 players. They've updated names. I mean, there is a ton of stuff, folks. I'm not going to go through all of this. Check the link in the description if you want to look into it. But there's a lot of stuff that has been added to this patch. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to Master League because I've missed it. I really have. And my channel's depleting because of it, because it's what I love to do. Anyway, first things first. Go ahead and download all the stuff that you want to download. If you do not want the stadiums, you do not have to install them. That is completely separate, but you are going to need to download all 16 parts, whether you do it via torrent or using Mega. I personally use Mega. It takes a bit of time because you are looking at, 69 gig unpressed or unzipped. And then you've got 221 gig. The stadiums are what's going to take up the space, folks. But if you want the whole patch, you're probably going to need close to 300 gig free on your computer. Take that into account. So there's the first step. Download everything, and then we move on. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do, if you are coming from version 3, okay, this is for those coming from version 3 of the Virtuared patch, I would highly recommend that you back up what you currently have. Because personally for myself, I like to just delete stuff and then reinstall it fresh. That way, you're not overwriting stuff that probably needs to actually be deleted and then put back in. So what I have done, this is my version 3 right here, as you guys can see. You probably want to blow up the screen, by the way, so you can see this a little bit more. I mean, it will be in like 2K. And then over here, this is a hard drive that I have. This is an external hard drive. As you can see, if we go to this PC right here, I've got 1.8 terabytes. What I did was I created a folder real quick, old VRED version 3, and I literally grabbed all of these minus the content folder because I didn't want to do the stadiums because it will take like 7 hours. Forget it. But I pretty much just copied this and pasted this over. This way, if anything happens to version 4, or maybe there's a few mods that you installed and you wanted to keep them, you have everything fresh in the save folder that you have. So if anything goes wrong, you can always replace it. That's my first sort of recommendation. Back up the files and you're good to go. So there we have it. All right, the next step. So this is all the files, okay? I've downloaded every single file. As you can see, I mean, it comes out at 82 gig, but you'll want to extract them, okay? So that's the first point that we're going to worry about. You right-click the bugger, and then you can basically extract here. That works for me. And that's going to take a bit of time because these files are quite large. All right, so we're going to go ahead and extract the patch itself and the stadiums, and then you've got the fix file and the edit file. So we're going to go ahead and run that. I'll let it do it in the background, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so quick update. We have extracted the first part. As you can see, now we have this little thing right here. It is the EXE file. But before we do that, we're going to make sure we extract all the rest of the files. So we're going to go ahead, right-click on the stadiums, and extract these here as well. Now, this is going to take a lot longer because it's around 220 gig. So I will see you guys whenever that finishes. Ciao, ciao. All right, folks, so we're finally done, okay? It took a while, not gonna lie, and I actually ran out of room in my hard drive. the damn thing, but we have managed to fix it. So what you should have now, if you have extracted the stadiums correctly, if you are using the stadiums, you'll have a stadium server folder, and within that folder is all the different stadiums, along with the config, the map competitions, and the map teams. Those are very important if you want the stadiums to, you know, line up in sync with the proper teams. So you're making sure that Chelsea has Stamford Bridge, etc. And then you've got your EXE files, which we're going to dive into in a second. Now, before we do that, we're going to minimize this, and we are going to delete some stuff. This is what I do. You don't have to follow me if you don't like to, but I'm going to delete Cider because I don't really need it right now, because the patch is going to do all this stuff for us. We're also going to delete the whole of the live CPK folder. That's going to be deleted. So we'll go ahead and click Cider icon's not relevant, DLL file, delete that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's the uninstall option, but I'm just going to go ahead for now and do this. So I'm going to go ahead, hit delete, and let it delete it. Now, there's also stuff in the content folder that we're going to delete because I have all the stadiums from before. I'm just going to remove them for the time being, and then that way everything's kind of fresh. So once this is done, I'll be right back. Okay, so deleted those files. As you can see, the live CPK folder's gone. The Cider files have gone. Now, I am actually going to just delete the whole of the content folder. It doesn't state to do that in the install directions, but we already have the stadium server, and it's going to be adding all this stuff anyway. I mean, you need kit server around to add the kits. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this whole folder. It's going to take a long time because it's hundreds and hundreds of gigs. But we're going to roll with this, and we're going to see how this works out. And then after that, we'll be back and we'll start installing it, because then we're ready to roll. All right, folks. Now, once it's deleted, and it took some time, to be fair, I actually forgot. I'm going to delete this modules folder as well. There you go. Just because everything's now simple. If you're doing a fresh install, which is probably what Spoonie's probably going to be putting out, which will be more relevant, you won't have to worry about doing all this stuff. You'll have a lot less files, and it'll be very simple. But if you're going from V3 to V4, I mean, this is what I'm doing. We'll see if it works at the end of this video. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the patch V4. We're going to give that a magic double touch, double click. And then that's going to open up the EXE file, so it's going to start installing. We're going to click yes. You guys won't be able to see that because Windows. And here we are. So you're going to make sure it is in the right folder. I have mine in the Steam Commons typical folder. If yours is elsewhere, then click on Browse, find it, and then click OK. We're going to go ahead and click Next. Make sure you have at least 69.36 gig of free space. Already exists? Yes, it does. We're going to go ahead and click Yes, and then Install. And that's it. Let it do the magic. I'm going to let this run through. I'll probably fast forward the video so you guys can see it in real time, although fast time. And then once it's done, I shall return. All right, folks, so it's finally done and dusted. That's right, I had to end up having another shave. That's how long this thing took. Oh, blimey. Honestly, it took like an hour and a half. So don't worry, it's going to take some time for it to install. But as you can see now, we do have a content folder with all the same kind of folders. We have the live CPK folder with everything that's needed. And then we've got the modules folder that we deleted. So they've all come back. Don't worry, you know, it all worked out. I mean, we'll find out when we boot the game up. And then we've got Cider right there. So it's all been added. Now, we still have to do the stadiums. Now, this is going to take hours otherwise. So what I'm going to do for the sake of this video is just copy over literally the English stadiums for the time being. All right. But otherwise, you would literally take this folder and simply whack it in here. All right. You drag it and you put it in there and you let it do the business. But for the sake of time, and I don't have a ton of time, we're going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to grab the England folder, and then I'm going to grab these two as well. And actually, I do need to make a stadium server folder. So hang on a minute. This is what we'll do. We'll copy that. I'm going to create a new one. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this for the sake of showing you that it does work. But we're going to go in here. Let's pick England. And in England, you know, you've got a decent amount of stadiums there. And then we have to take these as well. We've got to take the config files, otherwise it won't know what it's doing. We're going to copy and we're going to paste into here. All right, so this shouldn't take too long. Once it's done, literally, that should be it. So I will see you guys in a second once it's finished copying the files. Okay, so it's done. As I said, when you're doing the other stadiums, folks, just grab the whole folder. But for the sake of time, that's the best we're going to do. So everything now is pretty much set up. The only thing we have to finalize is the fix file and then the edit file. So that's not going to take long at all. All right, so once everything else is done, I don't know exactly where I was, to be honest, because I don't know if my computer today is just having one of those days, time of the month. I don't know, but this is really, I've literally been recording this, folks, for 2 hours. It's a bloody nightmare. Anyway, now we are going to extract the fix file, right? So there's the fix. All right, so I've extracted it. That will give you a content file. Within there is an entrance and goal song server, and then the live CPK file, which is the database. So we're going to grab those two, and we're literally just going to push them over here. All right. Plop them in there, copy them into that, overwrite anything that is needed, which is going to tell you right here. You can overwrite all, and then let it just do the business. It pretty much froze last time. I tried not extracting it and just dragging it straight in. It was a disaster, so don't bother doing that. Just extract it, drag those two files into your copy of PES 21's root folder, and that should be done. And then all we've got left to do is head over to the documents folder and change out the edit file. So this should be done in just a second. I mean, this is a huge patch, folks, a huge patch. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of gigs. It's going to take a lot of time, so don't get worried if it's taking ages. Go and have a coffee or whatever you need to do. Even go out for a few hours, to be honest, and you'll probably still be doing it when you get back. So anyway, there we go. That is done. All the files are ready to roll. Now, because we've also backed up, if we had any other files that we added inside of a 4 or any other type of extra live CPK files, we can always add them, right? So let me just show you, for instance, this is the old version 3. So if we go to live CPK, there's going to be some things in the new folder that I did have in the old and vice versa. So, you know, what do we have here? Like Ultimate ATM, that's not in there. The new net sounds was also another one. So I'll add all those myself afterwards. You just have to go into the cider file and just, you know, put a little bit of text to link them up. But anyway, let's dive into the final part here. We'll go back to the edit file, which is going to be right here. There it is, edit. And we're going to go to documents. Go to your document folder. Go to Konami. Then we're going to go to PES 21 season update. Going to go to the one with all gibberishy numbers, save, and there is the edit file. Now I'm going to actually keep a copy of this, so I'm going to drag this onto my desktop because, as you said before, you never know. Actually, let's not even do that. Let's rename this. I would still recommend you do this. We'll just call this .back V3. It doesn't matter. We can always rename it afterwards. So we'll drag that onto the desktop. There we go. And now we can grab the new one and simply plop that bad boy in there. And that is it. That is it. Right. So we're going to load up the game, boot it up, and I will see you guys there for the funness. And hopefully it's worked, because if it hasn't, well, it's been a disaster for all of us. So I will see you guys in just a second. All right, so here we are. As you can see, the game has loaded. We have the V4 logo, which is good news because it looks like it has worked. I'm running this in Windows mode right now just to quickly show you guys. It's not going to be crazy in depth because I'm going to be doing a Master League anyway, so you guys are going to see all the fun stuff when we get into that. But just to make sure all is working, I mean, this is how I've installed it, going from V3 to V4. Yeah, there's not going to be any kind of online action right now, and you're not going to be able to go online, folks, whilst this is enabled, this patch. I think you've got to turn off the net block or something. But as you can see, let's go over to edit mode just to test this out. Now, if you do hit the space bar, not there, but we're going to have to do it on the game. it's going to pop up, as you can see. This is when you know the game is running well and Cider does work, right? You use the space bar to bring this up and down, and then you can use the number 1 to go through everything that you want to go through. So, for instance, if we went to teams... So, Premier League, you've got the Arsenal, you've got the Aston Villa, Brentford. As you guys can see, all the names are correct. All the logos are there. You've got the new fonts that look nice and tasty. If we went to someone like Manchester United, and then we went to the strip, there is the old team viewer, the home kit. You're going to actually, if you do this, folks, you're going to have to do this through Kit Server. And that works like this. So you want to go to Kit Server right there, as you can see. And then you want to use 6 to switch through the kits. And there should be a lot of them, as you can see. You've got that one. There's different color shorts. There's different color socks. I mean, there's so many different variations. There's the away way one. You've got ones with yellow shorts. But you've got to do it through Kit Server, all right? Use the space bar, press number 6, and that's how you can change between the two. And you can also, it tells you at the top there, you can see it says P1 Champions League. So it's got the Champions League logo. And then you've got a Champions League alternate, and then you can go through, what else we've got? FA Cup maybe? Well, that's just an alternate there. But you guys get the gist. It works, simple as that. So what else do we have to check out? Well, let's go to some players. So let's go back to players, edit player. Well, let's go through the league. So look, you've got the Liga Portugal. There's the Russian, La Liga, Santander. And then you've got, obviously, the second league there. The Bundesliga, for instance. So if we go to someone like Borussia Dortmund. Now, there is a lot of faces as well, folks. An absolute bucket load of faces have been added to this patch. I mean, most players probably have a real face. I mean, look how good these look. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at Haaland. Look at him. Absolutely beastly. There's Marlon as well. So if we go to someone like Haaland, go to his appearance just to show you the boots, strip style, and there is the boots. You're going to have a lot to choose from. You've got your Nikes. You have got an absolute bucket load of Nikes there. You've got your Pumas, Ultras. You've got Mizuno, New Balance, Under Armour there, Joma. All the way at the top, you're going to have your Adidas ones as well. So yeah, I think there's only 100 actually you can put in the game, but you can also add more like behind the scenes. You just won't be able to pick them. Anyway, there is Haaland. Actually, I do want to go to Man United real quick just to see what some of the... Actually, maybe not Manchester United. Let's try a team that... One of the lesser teams. Someone like Brentford. Let's have a look if there's any... how the face is looking here. There's Raya. You've got Pinnock. You've got Jansen there. This guy, Henry. So as you can see, folks, looking very, very tasty. I mean, he doesn't have a real face. But for the most part, there are thousands upon thousands for you guys to feast your eyes on. Much better than you get on console. That's for damn sure. If we were to go to, once again, teams, pick Arsenal, for instance, and we go to game plan. That's how the game plan looks. Now, I'm going to be installing probably my own tactics. Can't remember the name of it exactly. But I'm going to be putting my own tactics in the game. So what that's going to entail is every team's going to have fluid formation, fluid tactics, every single league. Doesn't matter what league you're in. So I'm going to be adding that myself down the road. Let's do one quick introduction to a match. I haven't really got the audio set up, but we're just going to do a quick local match. Why don't you do Champions League? But we'll do a local match just to show you guys what it would look like. Say we're going to do the Bundesliga, for instance. A classic. Dortmund taking on the one and only Bayern München. So you're obviously going to have the proper thing behind. So it looks like the Bundesliga. And if you do hit the space bar, make sure you are clicking on the game because that helps. You're going to see it loads the Bundesliga ball straight away. Oh, hang on. I've forgotten. I haven't actually installed the German stadium, so we can't do that. Let me do an English team. That's the one I've That's the one I've added. All right, let's do that. Let's do Brentford for a little bit of fun there. Brentford against Arsenal, whatever works. Okay, so there it is. Premier League scoreboard. There is a few of them to choose from as well, not just one. You've got the Premier League kits, goal songs in there, and then you're going to have... There should be their stadium. I don't know, actually. We'll see. The stadium image didn't pop up. But anyway, let's dive into it. There's the proper ball as well. But let's start this match off, and let's have a look at how it loads. As I said, I haven't set up the audio, so you're not going to get any of the audio going right now. This is just to show you guys the patch does work. And then once we dive into Master League, well, then the fun begins, and we're going to have everything looking very, very tasty. And then I've got to pick who we're going to choose. I mean, it's between Newcastle at the moment, Barcelona. It's a close one. It's a close one. So here we are at Brentford Community Stadium. As the boys are looking to come out, as you can see, it says Brentford in the tunnel. That's all been done as well. Looking very, very sexy. Aubameyang has the most ridiculous hair. Doesn't have that anymore. You got to remember as well, folks, that sometimes they will come out of the wrong kind of tunnels and stuff, depending on what kind of stadium it is. But as you can see, it's loaded fine. It works. There is no problems. And I'll let this run through just to show you guys the lineups. When I do the Master Leagues, we're going to be doing that. Proper extended highlights. I'm going to show you guys the lineups, dive into the match, proper commentary as well. We're going to get back to the old ways, folks. Get back to the old ways of life. Having a quick chat in a huddle. And here it is. The lineups for you. So there it is. Looks fantastic. No room for racism on the left-hand side. Keep it authentic. And there we go. All right, let's quickly just show you guys in the match. And away. I have not played PES in the longest time. It's been so long since I've actually booted this game up. Feels quite odd playing it, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to getting back into this because still think PES beats FIFA gameplay-wise all day and every day. But anyway, folks, that is all for today. Hopefully this video has helped you guys install the patch. You see Arsenal pressing here quite well. I think I'm still playing on a gameplay mod, actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I may be. But we're going to be playing with all that stuff anyway. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to help you out. Spoonie will have a tutorial that's probably, honestly, I was going to do a little bit of trickery there, but it didn't work. Probably easier than mine, but I just wanted to show you guys what can happen when you just go from V3 to V4. It works. It just takes a bit of time and a bit of patience. So let's see what we can do there. We can't do anything. It was a good challenge. All right. Anyway, till next time, subscribe for more and take care.